we are going to start working on our tomatoes. Now, heirloom tomatoes is what you would prefer to use here, but a big beefsteak will work also. One of the nice things about an heirloom tomato is an heirloom tomato typically has a little bit thicker flesh than a tomato that is a hybrid. So when you roast them in an oven, they just tend to work out a little better.
Which tomatoes are generally sweeter?
Typically an heirloom has more flavor and natural sweetness. So now we're gonna scoop out the flesh of the tomato. We're gonna save this for our filling, which also will have ground beef, rice, onions, herbs, pine nuts, and goat cheese. They go in our pan, which will eventually get stuffed. I'm gonna hit them with some extra virgin olive oil and some salt and pepper. And step one of the stuffed tomatoes is good to go. Next, we're gonna start our filling. We're gonna put a good amount of fat in the pan, and we're gonna start cooking our beef. I'm using 80-20 ground beef here. This isn't lean ground beef. It's not super fatty, it's not lean. I'm just gonna hit it with a good amount of salt, and then this could go into our fat, and we're just gonna let it char and brown. I'm on indirect heat right now. I'm gonna push it directly over the heat, and we're gonna let it really start to brown and caramelize. Because you don't wanna rush this process. That's where all the flavor comes from. I'm gonna get some of my other ingredients ready. I have 1 small red onion that I've minced up. I'm gonna grate 2 cloves of whole garlic. I'm also going to take the zest of 1 lemon, which I could do on here also. So we got our garlic and our lemon there. I have a good amount of fresh mint, about a ½ cup of fresh mint cut, and I'm gonna cut up a ½ cup of flat leaf parsley. Liv, did you ever eat stuffed tomatoes growing up?
No.
No? How about stuffed peppers?
You know, I think I've had stuffed peppers from you before. My mom definitely did not make them.
When I was a kid, I didn't love peppers, and either did my sister. So my mom would often do stuffed tomatoes in place of the peppers.
I love that.
Same concept though. So with the tomatoes that I scooped, I'm just gonna smash them up in my hand. I think by the sound of things.
And the smell of things.
Smell, yeah, and I always tell you, Liv, what do I always tell you? How do you cook?
Cook with your senses.
Boom, she got it right,
Yay!
Victory! Wow, this was a big moment. So my back's to the food. I could smell, I could hear. I think it's ready. It is. You can see how it has that good caramelization on there, almost like you're doing a hamburger. And I'm just breaking this up now because we got that great caramelization on the one side. So the meat is kind of in a good place. So now I'm gonna add my red onion, my lemon and garlic. I'm gonna add a couple more glugs of olive oil to just keep that really moving. We're gonna put a pinch of salt on there, and then we're just gonna stir this up. The reason that I did the beef first is I wanted to get that good caramelization on the beef, but I didn't want my onions and garlic to burn. So now we're just cooking the onions and garlic till they're lightly translucent and very aromatic. Now we're gonna take our hand-crushed tomatoes, get them in there, and it's almost looking, Liv, like you're making almost like a
meat sauce.
A bolognese a little bit,
Yeah.
So all the tomatoes, the guts are kind of breaking down into that sauce, which we want. And now we could add our herbs. So we have our flat leaf parsley, a lot of it. Fresh mint. We're gonna stir in the herbs. So now I have a big mixing bowl here. We're gonna take the beef tomato mixture. That goes in. I have some cooked white rice. You could buy par-cooked rice. We just cook this rice ahead of time in a little bit of stock. We don't want the rice to have to cook through because the beef is already cooked. All right, now the other ingredient that we're putting in here is toasted pine nuts for a little crunch, just like my mom used to make it, and goat cheese. I like the softness of the goat cheese in this. I think it coats everything better. Mix that all together. All right, so now we are ready to stuff and then start to bake. So I go pretty, I stuff them as high as I can. Just gonna scoop it in there. If you have some left over, not the end of the world. Who doesn't love rice? So So we kind of get them stuffed real good, and then I'm gonna top them all off. Now I just take panko breadcrumbs, liberally sprinkle the top. If you are trying to eliminate gluten from your world, this is not a necessary step. You could even do Parmesan on top, but I just like the little crunch it gives it. We top that with extra virgin oil. We're gonna put these on the indirect heat in our grill. We're gonna close the lid. We're gonna try to hold that grill temp at about 350, 400, and that's it. Our tomatoes are ready to rock. Look at those, babies.
Those look
The tomatoes are nice and soft. It's golden on top. The ground beef. All right, I'm gonna cut this tomato right in half.
I know.
You want to get the crispy part. You want to get a little bit of the tomato.
Yeah, you could see
gotta
that
get everything.
flesh is cooked through there. Cheese is melted.
Oh my God, the goat cheese in there is phenomenal. It makes it so like light but creamy.
I just want to eat this crispy top, though.
I love the crispy top.
Give me a moment with the crispy top.
But I love all the herbs and the pine nuts. It breaks up the richness. You know, the tomato is cooked through and juicy. Another great entree all on its own. We're gonna start working on my cucumber yogurt and dill salad. I loved it as a kid, and I always crave it, and this is how I love to make my cucumber salad. So we're gonna take one red onion again and just slice straight down. As thin as you could get it. There you go. All right, so onions are gonna go in the bowl. And then we're gonna take our cucumber. Now we're just gonna cut these into quarters. So down, down. So nice big chunks of cukes here. This is how my grandfather made it, and this is kind of the version that I love the most. We're gonna season these ahead of time before we make the dressing, and some of that liquid is gonna leach out of the cucumber, which is then gonna become part of the dressing. So we're gonna put a nice pinch of salt in, and then we mix this with the salt. And it's just gonna break it down and start pulling out a little bit of that moisture just for a couple minutes while I'm making the dressing. We have fresh dill, garlic, sour cream, a little bit of whatever your favorite hot sauce is, vinegar of the white wine variety, and extra virgin olive oil. All right, so we give the garlic a smash. A lot of people like a garlic press. I don't, they're too hard to clean. My garlic press, very easy to clean. Gonna take our dill, super soft herb, so we could go down through the majority of the stems. They're just gonna add flavor to the party. And you know, when you think of cucumbers, I always think of dill. Now, we're gonna put in a couple shakes of hot sauce. Obviously, this is optional depending on how much flavor you want in there, how much heat. A little bit of cracked black pepper, extra virgin olive oil, little splash of white wine vinegar. Basically making like a simple vinaigrette there. And then we are gonna take our sour cream and whisk this all together into our dressing. Now you could see right now the dressing looks relatively thick, and that's what we want, because as I told you, the cucumber is gonna kind of release liquid and moisture and its natural juices into the dressing. That goes in the bowl. All right, guys, so now we're gonna mix the dressing in with our cucumbers and onions. Just let this hang out. Again, this is something that you could make as early in the day as you want, up to overnight. It's not gonna hold, it's gonna hold in the fridge for about 2 days after that, but it is best after it hangs for a couple hours. Our cucumber salad is ready. I'm just gonna start getting a little jump on my zucchini because I like to salt these ahead of time. I'm gonna start slicing my zucchini chips, and all we're gonna do, Liv, as we slice these, is we start to lay them out on paper towels. I'm gonna salt them.
Why do you like to salt them ahead of time?
Because this is gonna pull the moisture out of them, so then when we fry them into a chip, they're super crispy.
Oh, love that.
All right, remember, when we went out, I was cutting the zucchini and laying it on these paper towels, and I pre-salted it. Liv, I want you to come real close here. See how these are like releasing that moisture? That's what we want. It's gonna pull some of that moisture out of the zucchini, so that way when we fry them, they're gonna get extra crispy.
I love a crispy zucchini.
We're just gonna serve them, I think, with some grated parm today. All right, so now I'm just gonna take these.
And do the zucchini have to be a specific thickness?
Thin, wafer thin.
Okay.
We have cornstarch here. I'm just gonna start adding the zucchini to the cornstarch. Cornstarch makes things extra crispy. If you go flour here, they won't get as crispy.
And you don't even have salt in there?
No, because we pre-salted.
Oh,
So
right.
in this case, we don't really need the salt. And I'm just gonna start frying these up. So the oil's between 350 and 360. So I'm gonna drop them in the oil, and very quickly, they're gonna fry. It's gonna take like maybe 1 minute to 2 minutes. So you wanna drop it in gently. You don't wanna drop from like up here. And then remember, these do have moisture in them, so they do pop a bit. So once we get this first batch in, I'm gonna give them a stir so we make sure that we don't have any stickiness happening. And then, you know, you don't wanna sit with your face over the pot.
I can avoid that.
So we just give them a little, make sure we're moving in there. And, you know, cornstarch doesn't get quite as golden as like a flour, say, an all-purpose flour. So these aren't gonna get like golden, but once they start to turn that nice brown hue, we're in a good place and we'll start pulling them out.
So when I try and fry things indoors, the oil splatters all over my stove. Is there a way to avoid that mess?
Yeah, no.
Okay, good. I can tell Daniel then.
There's not. But you do, you know, they do sell those little mini fryers nowadays that you could use that have covers and lids on them and things of that. Look at that. See what's happening there? Ooh, boy. Look at them, Liv. So the first batch of these is done. All right, and now look, the last batch of zucchini chips. Look at these ones, golden brown. We pre-salted the zucchini, so I'm not gonna salt them now because we're finishing these with Parmesan. So they're gonna be plenty salty.
Oh, wow, look at
Make
that.
it rain.
Crispy heaven.
Well, I think the Parmesan too really kind of puts them over. You got the natural salt of the Parm, that kind of crystally crunch.
Oh my God. Love, love, love the Parmesan on here. I could have an entire bag of these. Better than potato chips. I said
I
it.
agree.
You know, a lot of people discard the broccoli stems. I think the broccoli stems are the most delicious part of the broccoli. So I took off the little end chunks of the broccoli stems, but I left a good part of the stems on, and I'm gonna char all these on the grill, and then everybody could get like a broccoli wedge or two. So I'm gonna hit these with some olive oil, and then just salt and pepper, and then we're gonna hit them with some dressing. I'm gonna take these big chunks though, almost like wedge salad situation, over direct heat on the grill, and then I will drop the lid of the grill down on top of them and let them get a little bit of char, so they're almost like al dente in the inside with a good side of char on them.
Sure. So it's almost like roasting them a little bit.
Yeah,
too.
it's
Put
like
the
a
lid
char
down,
char
that kind.
roast.
Char roast.
Troast. Okay.
I'm going to start with this dressing.
Yes,
Moving
please.
on.
Yes.
So if you want to cut up the green onion and the dill,
Got it.
and then I'm just going to kind of
Do the buttermilk.
plop everything together.
All
yeah.
right,
So
plop
this
it.
is a buttermilk based dressing. So we'll add that. Apple cider vinegar, sour cream. Now I've got some brown sugar here that I'm going to add. A little bit of mustard. And this is a little bit of a spicy brown. And some nutmeg,
Yum.
which is sort of a little secret ingredient here. Not a ton, you just want a hint. You're not gonna want this to be a, dominant flavor. Okay, so now I'm just gonna give this a little whisk. Oh, it smells good.
Hey, Lizzie, real quick, I just want to show you something. So these are starting to char up real nice, you see?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm moving them now to the kind of outside of the grill where there's not quite as much heat coming underneath them, and I'm going to put the lid back down. They have like another minute.
Oh, they're
and they'll
getting a
be
nice
ready.
bright green color.
I know.
Can you use all of the green onion? I know some people don't.
I use it all. It all is delicious. Hey, Lizzie, can I have a little taste of that? Your dressing?
You may.
Thank you.
Do, just because, and I
Maybe
like
it
a
needs
little
more
spoon.
pepper.
No, it definitely doesn't need pepper.
Ooh,
Oh, it's good.
Oh, it is good.
Brown sugar is key.
It is, and like I usually don't put a lot of sugar in anything, but in
Right.
this it really works. All right, so look, we got our broccoli.
Perfection. Look how bright,
This
delicious, and green it is.
Char. And we got, you could see like, and one of the reasons too, like I'm gonna get a little chefy up in here. I like to kind of spread these out and put some of the char sides up and some of the green sides up, so you get like this beautiful range of color.
Want me to get my little tiny spatula?
So
away?
we have our dressing. We made a good amount of this dressing, and the reason is this will hold in your fridge for a couple weeks. Also, it's a great dip for like crudité or raw vegetables too.
I was just thinking I could dip my carrots in there.
Yep, it's a great for your carrots.
It would be delicious.
We're
Love
just gonna
that.
kind of artfully drizzle some of this goodness around here.
It's like a Picasso painting.
There you go.
It's a beaut.
And then we have some toasted salted peanuts.
I just love this so much.
Ooh, what about almonds?
Almonds would work great. Some dried cherries. I think any dried fruit will work.
Cherries, cranberries.
Do your thing. Mm-hmm. And broccoli, charred broccoli.
Look how
is done.
pretty.
Come on. Look
I love
at
it.
It's beautiful.
Rosemary, bruschetta, all the Italian you need to know. So I have nice loaf here. This is a sourdough. When these start to get really small, it's more of a crostini. Like, so I want these to be kind of thick and rustic. To flavor this, I'm gonna brush it with rosemary as it is cooking, which is gonna add a lot of flavor to it while it is on the grill. So we're gonna do a nice tie here
So
for
you're
our
using
brush.
the rosemary as a brush?
As a brush. The rosemary is now my pastry brush. So we get this bundle in the end, get my little fat fingers through there. All right. I'm gonna put some extra virgin olive oil. We're gonna take our olive oil and we're gonna brush our bread, both sides of the bread with it. And then we're gonna go over the hot side of the grill. And I'm gonna put these over the coals to start. And you can see how fast this is gonna happen. So as it kind of chars up, when I get both sides charred, I'm gonna move it to the offset heat, and then I can put the lid down, and then in a couple minutes, we're ready to go. I'm just gonna set the brush in there, because then when I close it, it'll kind of perfume the whole thing. All right, so we close this down. This is gonna go for about 3 to 5 minutes, it's gonna be 400 degrees. Remember, crust on the outside, chewy in the center. As that is happening, we're gonna make a dressing for our arugula that we're gonna top it with. And I'm gonna put a little bit of lemon zest in there.
With lemons, what is the difference when you zest it versus when you juice it? Like, isn't it the same flavor?
So there is about 2 times as much flavor in the zest as the juice, and the zest is brighter than the juice. And this is gonna be a pretty acidic vinaigrette, so I'm going, you know, a whole lemon and then that olive oil. So I have some arugula. We're gonna put the arugula in the bowl. We're gonna take some of our lemon vinaigrette. Remember, when you're dressing greens like this, don't just dump the dressing on top. Take the dressing, run it around the edge of your bowl, and then what you could do is you could work the greens into the dressing, so now you get this really light dressed salad as opposed to this like sag down sad salad. So arugula is a delicate green, go around the edge of the bowl, work the dressing in. All right, oh boy. So bruschetta,
Beautiful.
it's still soft, but very crunchy. Right on the platter here. Oh! We have a man down, but we're only feeding 3 today, so I'm all right. It could happen to anybody. So now we take our garlic clove with our 3 remaining bruschetta, and I rub them on that crunchy bread. And when we rub them on the bread, they're gonna get that really kind of bright garlic flavor. We now take our greens, we just drop them on top.
So is bruschetta just the type of like bread? Because I thought bruschetta had tomatoes on them.
No, bruschetta is grilled bread, and then
Okay.
you could top it, then you top it. A tomato bruschetta is a type of bruschetta.
Ah.
And then we take Parmesan, and I'm just gonna take these big peels of Parmesan. So our bruschetta is ready. And listen, it's got that nice crunch in there,
So
but it's
just get a
soft
little
in the
olive
center.
oil.
So yeah, I brushed them with rosemary and then grilled them, and then arugula salad with olive oil, lemon, you know, super
Nice.
simple. Parmesan on top. All right, let's all
Okay.
give this a taste and tell me what you think.
All right, we're just gonna go right in.
We're gonna go
start
right
with
in,
This.
yeah.
Okay.
I totally understand what you mean about having it be crispy on the outside, but soft and like kind of tender on the inside. It's a perfect combination of texture.